Hello and welcome to Wingin It, and you join us again here for another tournament game of Wingspan. This is another post-commentated game, so I'll be looking to give a bit of insight as the game develops into what I was thinking and what my decisions are like. So we come here into this game, we are going second, but we're going to jump in and see what we've got in our starting hand, and you'll see it is a pretty good start. My good friend the White Wagtail is there, which I'm very, very happy to see. I feel like it's been a little while since I've had a good Wagtail game. At the very least, a good one on video. So, yeah, as soon as I saw that, I say very, very happy. And we've got some other good birds to go with it. So, Barnswallow, of course, always a nice one to get. Anytime you get a tuck and draw bird like that, super, super strong power. And it's going to help with a few of these end around goals as well, which is definitely helpful. And we've also got Black Woodpecker, which has got pretty good synergy here with this starting hand, so not ordinarily a bird I look to go for Black Woodpecker, but you'll see we are going to keep that along with Wagtail and Swallow here. And yeah, that brown power, getting all the worms in the bird feed. I mean, you can see there's already a few in the bird feeder as it is, but this bird could be super powerful. If you get those re-rolls, you get a bunch of worms, then, you know, the two birds that I've kept in the Wagtail and the Swallow, both eating the worms. As I say, really, really good early game synergy here. So we're just going to get that Woodpecker down straight away. No questions asked. And I should say as well, it's a nice big bird. 70 centimeters, pretty big for a forest bird. So we have kept Forest Data Analyst. Not really a bonus card I like, but it's definitely better than the alternative here. And yeah, as I say, with plenty of small forest birds to look out for, we should be hitting that lower bound. And that's kind of the aim, I think. Whenever I have this bonus card, I'll take the 3 points. I'll be happy with that. So you see opponent takes food, which I was annoyed about, but worked out in our favour there. 4 worms on the reroll. Kind of unheard of to get that sort of good fortune from the Black Woodpecker early on, but I will certainly take it. And yeah, 6 worms in our supply, so I would have been quite happy to grab the couple of nectar and got the couple of worms. So not really getting the nectar, which can be a little bit of a frustration, I think. Especially when you go Wagtail, you've always got extra birds to be playing to spend that nectar on, but as say with the worms here, exactly what we're after. And we're going to go get this Wagtail down, so a little bit of decision making here in terms of obviously the Wagtail and the Swallow. They can both go in either habitat there, grasslands or wetlands, but I think in these situations I prefer to have Barn Swallow in the grasslands. I know I'm going to need to lay eggs at some point, and yeah, having 2 habitats where you can potentially get tray cards is very, very useful. So we're going to go ahead and draw cards immediately. Top deck Barnswallow's best friend, Purple Martin. So more worm only birds coming our way, and we're also going to grab Plains Wanderer there. So this is a bit of a planning ahead move. I feel like whenever you go with these teal birds, Wagtail, Yellowhammer, Maltoni's Warbler, where you can play extra birds, if you can see some good bonus card birds early, pick them up, because you know you're going to want to play those later in the game. And Plains Wanderer is one of the best out there. If I can fill that grasslands, which, again, if you're going with these teal powers, you're going to play loads of birds, you're going to fill that grasslands easily, get a bunch of bonus cards, and be in a super strong position. So we are going to draw cards again here, given that the 2 that we've got were great. And if I'm going to play something like Barn Swallow, I want to be tucking something. I don't want to be tucking something that I want. So yeah, we've got prime tucking material in the Buick's Ren, but Baltimore Oriole has also come up, which is very, very tempting. Very nice option here. Big point bird, of course. And I think any time that you're getting extra resources when you're going with these kind of teal powers is exactly what you want. So I say already with the Woodpecker in the forest, it's a great start. But if we can add another brown power in there so that we're potentially getting 5, 6, 7 food a turn, when we take food, it's going to save us turns as this game goes on. We want to minimize the number of times we have to take food. That gives us more turns for laying eggs, playing these big point birds that we've collected in our hands. So that is exactly what I've got in mind here. So we've played our Barn Swallow here in the grasslands. And there's a little bit of management to do with this end around, a little bit of thinking, because I knew my opponent had that pheasant kukul. It was in the tray. I think it was in the starting tray. It was certainly in the tray at some point early in this round, which is obviously not ideal knowing the pink power has come out so early and we're going in the grasslands here. But that is potentially going to, as I say, put a bit of a spanner in the works with this end around goal. It is one that I was kind of looking at targeting maybe play the barn swallow, give myself those 2 turns. If I want to lay eggs twice, I can get up to 3 eggs in the ground nest, but it's a little bit tricky here because I know my opponent, they can just lay eggs on that last turn, get the 2 extra eggs, and then if I'm going to lay eggs twice, I'm going to give them 2 on the kukul, and they can just win this end around goal anyway. So you'll see we sort of changed it up a little bit here, and I'm actually not going to look to lay eggs on that last turn, and we're going to pick up the many coloured fruit duff here, which again is another really nice option, as with the Baltimore Oriole, just getting extra food, and this one just gets so much, and it's actually a really good synergy with the Oriole in getting the extra berries, which is precisely what I need there. And it's going to work for the bonus card as well, so both Oriole and Fruit Dove got the same wingspan, 30 centimeters, and ties count for the Forest Data Analyst, so that's going to get us our 3 points. And keep it flexible, keep it open where maybe we can get a couple more small birds. Plenty more digging, plenty more cycling with these double tuck and draws now. We have gone with the martin in the grasslands, and we can force down this fruit stuff. So we've completely abandoned the end around goal. I'm quite happy to miss out on the point here for the tempo gain of getting these birds down a little bit more quickly. So we give it to our opponent there. Not a problem for me. And we come into round 2, and what a lovely trade that is to see. Galar and Rybill, both excellent options. To be honest, I would like the crow as well. Go in this grasslands, get even more food, and obviously get some nectar with that brown power. But yeah, Galar is just so strong. And I say, same kind of principle applies as with the Planeswalker earlier. Seeing Rybill, I know I could play that later in the game. And it's actually got really good synergy with the Planeswalker in that when you play the Planeswalker, if you're discarding 4 bonus cards, you're just giving yourself more options to work with on the Rybill. So yeah, definitely a nice pickup there. We're definitely getting blessed. We're not having great card access here, just obviously the Wagtail here. Not actually got the strong brown power that you'd look for. And I think ordinarily, when you want to go for these Wagtail games, these teal power games where you are using all the actions, playing extra birds, you kind of need a good brown power. You kind of do need some good card access. So that is potentially going to get us unstuck as this game goes on. But that is where the double tuck and draw in the grasslands is super strong. Swallow the Martin, we know we can just lay eggs, cycle through some of these less good cards, but we just continue finding good ones. So Prothonotary Warbler, excellent. Another big point bird, potentially one that we look to use in the forest and get some more bonus points off the data analyst. So definitely got some options here, and I think, as I say, when you're going with the Wagtails, all you can ask for is just having options available, give yourself stuff to work with. So we're going to go ahead and look at taking food here. I mean, a couple of seeds have come up. I'm looking at this Galar and thinking, I want to get that down pretty quickly. Obviously get the 2 berries on the Fruit Dove, and yet again, this Woodpecker is just absolutely over delivering from what it should be. So been very, very fortunate. Do bear in mind, you're not going to get 4 worms every time if you play Woodpecker. It will disappoint you if you're expecting that, but look, sometimes you get the good fortune in Wingspan, and you just got to take care of it. You got to make the most of it, and we're certainly going to look to do that here, because that extra food is really going to help us out here in terms of just getting lots of these birds down much quicker. So we've got to go and lay eggs, of course, if we want to start playing more birds, and we're just going to keep getting great options. So Painted Bunting again, another bonus card play. Really would like to keep that, but something's got to go. We've got to tuck something. So unfortunately, had to be sacrificed there, but I think it was probably fine to do that. As I say, we've kind of already earmarked a few of these grassland spots. We know we've only got 3 left. We're going to want to play Galar in that grasslands. That's the best habitat for it here. Kind of use the grasslands as a bit of the primary engine here where we can score lots of points. And then obviously Planeswalker as well. We'll want to play that later. So yeah, kind of really more looking for forest and wetland birds, I think, here at this stage of the game. So yeah, 3 turns left. We're in a pretty strong position here, and I think most likely we're going to look to force down this Galar. Obviously only got the 2 seeds, but with all those extra worms we got hold of, no problems affording it there. So we are going to have a little think, because I've got some other good options. Maybe thinking about do I want to play this Warbler? Do I want to play Potentially this Oriole, and I've got to think about sequencing. You've got to think about the order in which you want to do things. When you're going with a wagtail, always have in mind as well, what are you going to play at the end of the round? Is it going to help for the end of round goal? Are you going to have enough eggs and food and all that good stuff? That's what you've got to be thinking about. So had a little bit of a moment of pause, thought processing. Galar is the play that we go with. So you'll see a little sneak peek at the score there. Only 22 points. Very, very low, I will say, for this stage of the game. I think ordinarily, you know, coming to end of round 2, you should be looking at 30, 40 points minimum. But we're quite low, but we've taken our time. Early game, we've set up strong brown powers. We've built the foundation, and we're hopefully going to reap those rewards here through some egg laying. So Galar obviously going to get the 2 tucks. For us, every time will give some food to my opponent, so I've got to bear that in mind, especially with the fruit dove as well. I'm being quite cooperative, and maybe if we do play Baltimore Oriole and use that as well, going to be throwing the food around, so definitely got to bear that in mind as a potential drawback. But when you're drawing and you're tucking and you're finding good birds like Common Goldeneye, I think that's perfectly fine. So really, really, really good find here. No doubt about it. Common Goldeneye, I mean, we've already got the 4 cavity nesting birds out. So we know we can just get that down. This round we're going to get 4 eggs every single round, so you know, you're looking at 14 points for just a 2 food bird. It's so powerful and so strong. So yeah, it was kind of again in this position where don't really want to tuck anything. Definitely didn't want to get rid of that warbler, but you know, needs must. We've got to be cycling these cards, and I think I back myself here. You know, if I am using this grasslands aggressively, if I'm using those tuck and draw powers, and of course drawing cards once per round to use the wagtail, I back myself to find some good forest options and still be able to hit that bonus card where we can. So yeah, definitely getting some good draws off the top of the deck, and it feels like my opponent's maybe struggling for cards. Obviously in a similar position to me, where not got that strong brown power, just got that 1 bird in the wetlands, and seeing them spend the food a lot to reset the bird feeder, which I think I'm okay with that. I like that as an option. Again, if we're throwing food around, I think certainly makes sense to be doing that and just let yourself see more cards, but not really great stuff coming up, which is a bit of a pickle for them to be in. But we're actually going to go ahead and take food again here. I was kind of mulling over potentially just use that extra turn, laying eggs, force down the Goldeneye, but I was kind of thinking ahead to next round and sort of trying to plan out, you know, what's my approach going to be there? What can I do with just that 1 food? You know, I'd have to go and take food again anyway, so I'd rather take food now. Gives me those nectars I can play. The Goldeneye is normal, no overspending. I've got my berries, I've got my worms ready, and we can look at doing the Baltimore Oriole next round, which is going to be super nice. Going to get some extra food. Obviously a big point bird as well, but for now, our focus is on this Goldeneye. Get that down the wagtail, and as I say, 4 eggs. So nice to kind of luck my way into that, but say you got to take it, and the points are now looking better. We're now starting to get those points on the board, and excellent options in hand. As say, with the Rybill, with the Oriole, and with this Planesrunner, we're definitely going to be scoring strong by getting those birds down in the rest of this game. So we do tie the end of round. I was kind of pretty far ahead at the start of the round, so I was hoping to pick up some points there. Not quite to be in. You'll see as well, actually, my opponent got the 2nd Grasslands counter down, so obviously started with the Kukul early, but played that Magpie, so this is going to have to be something we think about and are careful with, because, you know, we've got a strong Grasslands, we want to legs as much as possible. If we're giving away 2 points each time, and potentially 3 now with this Avocet coming up, that's going to be scary. That's not a position I want to be in. I don't really want to be giving that many points away, and the Galar food as well, to my opponent. But this is definitely an awkward tray. This is an awkward reset where you can only pick up 2. I mean, Kiwi, Stork, Avocet. I'd be quite happy with either the Kiwi or the Stork, to be honest. Both great options. I mean, with the Kiwi, I know I'm going to be seeing more bonus cards, so always give yourself an option there. And with that Flightless Wingspan, easy to hit on the Forest Data Analyst, but that gets blocked, and Avocet gets taken, but that leaves White Stork for us, so I'm very happy with that. And Frigate Bird as well is another great option. Big point wetland bird. That's kind of what we're looking for here. As I said, need to be filling out those wetland slots, and 9 points, can't say no to that. And pick up the great tit as well. It's just a bit of an option. I'm kind of looking at maybe, you know, if it's a good play later in the game, if it hits that data analyst, could be something, but equally, it's more fodder if we need it to go and cycle in the grasses. But for now, Baltimore Oriole is going to go down, as I say. Lovely big point bird, just get a bit more food. But we're starting to hit this bonus card on the forest data analyst, so I'm starting to feel a bit better about that. Knowing that I've got the 3 points in the bag, knowing that we're looking strong, we've got good, really good resource access in the food, and obviously this grasslands as well. Now that we can basically cap this off, I mean, I think my approach here, what I'm looking at, I've got the 4 eggs, I know I can play 2 grassland birds, and I probably want to do that before I'm laying eggs again, get the extra egg. I know that Planeswalker is basically the best bird I could put in that final grassland spot. So unlikely I'm going to find anything better. So when I'm going to play it, I may as well play it sooner rather than later. Look at the bonus cards, see if that's going to influence my decisions on some of these other birds. And with another pink power going down, I want to be spending as many turns playing birds as possible and as few turns laying eggs as I can get away with. But yeah, we go ahead and take food. We actually spend, you'll see a berry there. I was kind of hoping for more nectar. Didn't really like the look of the feeder. I was thinking, get a bunch of nectar. You know, we got the stork, got potentially frigate bird as well we might look to play, and no fish, no nectar coming up. Does make things tricky. But we do, of course, get a lot more food and a little bit of careful feeder management. So just making sure we can use this woodpecker. And you're always in that dilemma with woodpecker where you can get a reroll. Sometimes you want to force yourself to go for it, but I think if you can get 2 worms off that, I'm going to take it. I'm not going to be running the risk of drawing a blank. Even though I got the 4 worms a couple of times earlier, but yeah, on that reroll, that's where all the fish and the nectar was. So a little bit annoying, but I think we're well set. As I say, we've got the food in these last few turns. Can easily play the stork, play the Planeswalker as well, and then we've got one final turn. We need to lay eggs for the white wagtail. We know we're going to do that anyway. Score loads of points, and then yeah, a little bit of a decision to make. What do we play? Might depend. What's the stork going to give us? What are these tucking birds going to find for us? But I say we've always got that rye bill, can just force that down if we so please. So white stork is going in again. Just such a nice bird. I mean, we're getting some real nice brown powers here, and I think in these kind of games as well, it's getting the big point brown powers. So Oriole 9 points, stork 8 points, this frigate bird as well 9 points. It's never too late to play those. You know, I think sometimes you get to this stage of the game, kind of going late round 3 into the start of round 4. If you're drawing those low point brown powers, it's really difficult and really kind of tricky to justify playing them. But yeah, if you're getting 8 points, 9 points along with that strong brown power, it's a much, much easier sell. So definitely getting that down. Very, very nice. And we're going to follow up with the Planeswalker as well here. So yeah, we're going to see the max of 5 bonus cards. We're going to hope for something good, and staring me down the face, Mechanical Engineer for 8. So yes, exactly what you want. And to be fair, lots of good options as well. Got a couple of 6s and a 7, and with Ribble in hand, that is definitely what I want to see. So yeah, sometimes it can be frustrating when you draw loads of good bonus cards and you only keep 1, but I know that yeah, those really nice bonus cards are sat there waiting for me. I'll have those in the back of my mind when we potentially come to playing this rye bill at some point later in the game. Might be this round, depending on what we find. But so it's definitely going to go down at some point in this game. So real nice bonus card. And I'll say one last turn here. We will be laying eggs. We're going to score loads of points. You know, we get 4 eggs, we get the Galar Tucks, we get the Martin and the Swallow Tucks as well. But we are giving so many points away to my opponent here in this situation. So it's not quite as strong as a engine as it looks on the surface, but still a very, very nice one. So get a bunch of options here off the stalk that I'm not terribly interested in, but yeah, not a problem. We still got these tucking birds in the Martin, in the Swallow. Very, very nice to have, and just do a little bit more cycling, and bird like Purple Gallon, you're perfectly serviceable. Again, nice big points, so might be something we'll look at with that last end of round goal as well, but we are pretty handily in front there. So yeah, come to the teals. As I say, Gold Knight, super nice. Maybe some egg management to do, but when you're playing this many birds, it's really not a problem. You can easily free up those spaces, get the 4 eggs next round, as we have done here. So a little bit of a decision. What do we play? I'm sort of thinking between the Ribble and the Frigate Bird. We actually go with Frigate Bird in the end, and it's a massive overpay. I mean, 5 foods, but it could have been 3. But what I'm kind of thinking here is actually, had a little look at my opponent's board. They got no eggs in their wetlands, and this Frigate Bird power, you can only use it if you've got an egg in your wetland. So we're potentially setting ourselves up to be using that next round. Maybe get an extra nectar, which could be helpful maybe for the nectar race, but also if we've got some expensive birds that we want to be playing, then that's going to help us there. So nice win on the end of round goal. I say not even really close. Yeah, not a super duper great tray here. I actually think about drawing cards, but I remembered we already had a turn since my opponent got the 3 eggs on the pink power. So if we lay eggs now, we're not going to trigger those pinks again. So we're kind of blocking 2 points from our opponent. Always something to be aware of when this situation comes up in the turn order. So yeah, given we'd already laid eggs, makes sense to lay eggs again and get the benefit of the extra points. So do get a kind of interesting option here in the fairy run. Not actually got that many small birds down, but again, it's another one for the bonus card for a data analyst, and potentially with that star nest could help on some other ones as well. So we'll see what we can find on the tucking birds. We're just really looking for big point birds here. It's kind of the key. Finding something nice for that forest would be top of my priority list, but this gold crest is actually kind of interesting. It's potentially a late one. As said in the 3rd round, sometimes you get these brown powers. They come up a little bit later than you'd like. But we're in a situation here where I actually could use that. And it's kind of a free play because I know I'm going to take food anyway. And if I play the gold crest instead of another forest bird I was going to play anyway, then I can just get to play that when I take food. And I'm always going to have the extra cards. So using that power, never going to be a problem. And it's going to help maybe on this bonus card for a data analyst. It's a small bird, so small bird's what we're looking for. But we are going to draw cards, obviously we have to. And just see, maybe, we'll get some other options. Maybe we'll get a nice bonus card bird. It's kind of what I'm hoping for. Didn't quite come up, but I'd say we can use that frigate bird there, get the nectar, which could be key, could be helpful for the nectar battles here, because it's quite tight. I mean, grasslands, we sort of gave up on that very early on, but we did get our 1 nectar spent there, so we qualified. We're getting our 2 points, that's key. It's the other 2 habitats where there will be a little bit of thinking, a little bit of calculating to do, as there often is in these late games, just to see where's the nectar going to be best spent and what can I really squeeze out from this setup. But yeah, sort of looking, sort of debating what we could play in this forest. And I think, as strange as it might seem, we may be doing Goldcrest and Fairy Wren, because you'll see they're both 15. So again, it's another tie in the forest, but it still counts. So it could be potentially maxing out, getting some extra points off that data analyst bonus card and using that yellow power to score some more points at the end of the game. And with a bunch of nectar coming up in the feeder as well, definitely appealing as an option. But we know we have a spare turn in this round. Obviously, we've got 4 turns. We know we've got to play a bird, take food, lay eggs, and draw cards. Gives us freedom on that 5th turn. We're going to lay eggs here and see what we can find. Really hoping for some bigger point birds. The stork not really delivering on that front, but still a nice, strong turn here, scoring lots of points. And yeah, with the martin and the swallow, we still give ourselves a couple more chances, but you see the hooded crow's gone down, so 2 pinks and 2 teals. My opponent is now squeezing 4 points off of my Grasslands engine turns. So sometimes you find with these kind of wagtail games, you come here late in the game, final round, and you've actually set up such a nice engine in one of the habitats that you just want to run that. And 8 points, it's kind of hard to beat. So would have been tempting, I think, in a lot of other situations to just run that 8-point engine and just score a bunch of points. But I say, given the fact that I'm giving 4 away to my opponent each time I do that, suddenly only a 4-point engine doesn't look quite as good. And we've got some great birds here. Definitely want to be playing that Ribble and yeah, picking up one of those lovely bonus cards waiting there in the discard pile. But before that, we've got our forest shenanigans to be doing. So as I say, it's going to be nice. That kiwi, that's the one that got away. That would have been super, super nice. But again, I don't even know what I would have discarded. I mean, 2 very strong bonus cards in hand would have been a difficult decision, whether you even use that power or not. But yeah, we've got a decent play here. Goldcrest into Fairy Wren. It's going to be a little unconventional. I'm not sure I've ever played Goldcrest on the penultimate turn of a game before. But as I say, it's basically free, because otherwise we could just play the Fairy Wren and take food anyway. May as well play the Goldcrest first. Use that to play the Fairy Wren. Get the extra points. The more importantly, get the extra nectar spent. So my opponent did, I think, spend a little bit there on the kiwi, but they weren't able to spend that much. So we're 3 behind, and we can potentially, if the rerolls come up our way, get 3 spent here. So we know we can get the first one spent on the Goldcrest. And yeah, final turn of the game. It's going to be taking food, and we should be fine. Obviously, as I say, we're looking for that nectar, but we've definitely got, you know, 1 worm. We're going to get a second one. That's going to go on the Fairy Wren, and then it's whatever other food we get would go towards the rival in a worst case scenario. But we should be okay either way there. And it's just about trying to get as many birds down. So we're nearly going to fill the board, which I think is pretty good. I think definitely that's what you aim for when you're going Wagtail, when you're seeing this many bonus cards as well. And not even really using that many double birds. You know, Goldcrest sort of functions as one here, but didn't find, you know, egret or anything like that. But what we do find is lots of nectar on the reroll, which is exactly what we wanted. So very nice. And it means we are indeed going to be able to get this Fairy Wren down with a couple of nectar and get the tie for nectar apiece in the forest. And given that we've got the food we need for this rival, no point giving out the extra berries. Not too sure my opponent would have really benefited from them, but you never know. And if there's no need to gain the food, there's no need to give it out. So Woodpecker hitting for good measure, really just flexing this game. The number of worms it's gained has kind of been unbelievable. So I know the next time I play that bird, it's going to miss repeatedly. That's sort of what I've signed up for here. But yeah, definitely a strong performer in this one. And getting those extra worms early on in the game was such a game changer, such a tempo saver. And that's just helped me get this engine set up more quickly, get these birds down. So Gold Knight, again, another 4 eggs. Super nice. And we're going to get our rival down, and we're going to find the lovely bonus cards that are waiting for us, but plenty to flick through. So we'll just double check that there's nothing better. But yeah, few 4s, few 6s, 7 points though, Nest Box Builder. Really, really strong pick up for us there. So yeah, always good to remember, bear in mind, if you've got Rybill or you think it might come up, try and remember what bonus cards there are, because it's definitely going to make that calculating, make that decision making a whole lot easier later in the game. So my opponent gets their teals as well. Few tucks, few caches. Easy win on the end of round goal for us. And we get our yellow power as well. So Fairy Wren, not the biggest hit, only 3 eggs. Still a decent play, as I say, hitting the bonus card there. And that tie on the nectar in the forest for a few extra points, always worth bearing that in mind. So we did get smashed about a bit in the other habitats, which is kind of unusual for a Wagtail game, but just didn't really get the nectar coming up for us. We'll see what impact that has on these final scores. So yeah, given that we nearly filled the board, no surprise, big bird points 54 and strong bonuses as well. 23 from only 3. Really, really good performance on the end of round goals as well. Eggs, actually not too many, given we went in the grasslands, but we spent a lot of time playing birds. Obviously the tucks with the galah, with the swallow, with the martin, really nice, few nectar points, and it is a very big win here, 134 to 94 in the end. So really, really happy with how that game played out. Always love a good Wagtail game, and the pieces for this just kind of all fell together really nicely, as I say. Black Woodpecker so strong early, but we just found so many good birds. I mean, we didn't deserve to find this many good birds with the weak card draw we had, but as I say, sometimes you just got to take it, and I feel like we maximised from what we had. So not bad bonus cards on my opponent's side. Decent score there, and as I say, for them it was all about the counters. The pinks and the teals, they would have scored a lot higher had I laid eggs more. So we did go a little bit defensive there, even scoring as highly as we did. But lots of birds went down, lots of good bonus pools, and as I say, really, really nice win, really big score. And definitely enjoyed playing that one, so hopefully you enjoyed watching it. If you did, please leave a like, please hit subscribe as well, so you get notified for future videos. And I hope to see you in one of those very, very soon.